What's good, R&B squad? This is out of Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If you're new to this family, we don't believe that you're here by accident. Welcome. We're happy to have you, and Jesus is, of course, always happier. So, guys, I have a word today. It comes from a dream that I had and a couple things that the Lord showed to me in the spirit and some scriptures that He sent to support the word. And as per usual, as you listen, you will know whether or not it is for you. If you can relate to some things, but not everything, y'all know how we do it here. Eat the meat, spit out the bone, take what's for you, and leave the rest. We're going to go in deep with this word. This is a kingdom marriage word. It may take a bit of time to deliver, and you may need to really pay attention to details so that you know for sure that this is your word. Okay? So, in the dream, I saw this man. He was sitting by himself and he had a Bible open. He was reading his Bible. And I decided to take a look at what he was reading, at the chapter that he was reading. And when I looked over his shoulder at the open Bible, I saw that it was open to the Song of Solomon. Now I noticed that he was on chapter 1, but as I watched him, he turned over to chapter 2 eventually, and then finally to chapter 7. So if this word is for you, you may need to read chapters 1, 2, and 7 of Song of Solomon, or read Song of Solomon in its entirety. Now, while the man was reading these chapters of the Song of Solomon, I got to understand what he was thinking. Because for those of you who are new, one of the things that God allows me to do is understand or perceive what these people are thinking when I see them in these dreams. So this man, while he's reading the Song of Solomon, his mind is on this particular woman, this woman that he is very much in love with. And listen, the way that man felt, I felt what he was feeling. The strong desire, and when I say strong desire, I'm not even talking about lust. This desire to protect this woman, a real tender form of love and protectiveness, filled him as he read this word. He was reading the Song of Solomon, and only one woman was coming to his mind. This is the woman that he was in love with. This is his God-ordained partner. Then the scene switches. And there is this other woman. And I immediately got to understand that this was not the woman that he was thinking of, but this seemed to have been a woman that he was involved with at some point. So this was an ex-partner. And this woman was very angry. She was she was so mad. I practically see like smoke coming out of her ears. That's how angry she was. And she said, "I want her out of my life." And when she said, "I want her out of my life," somehow I knew she was talking about the woman that he was thinking about. She was talking about the woman that he was thinking about. So in her mind, this woman being in the picture, or this woman existing, practically just existing and minding her own business, was enough to infuriate her, because she knew that this was the woman that the man was in love with. And not only did she know that this was the woman that the man was in love with, she seemed to know as well that this was the woman he was ordained to be with. So it's like she knew what she was up against, but she was pissed off enough to still reach for the unreachable and decide to say that she wanted this woman out of her life. Now, mind you, the woman didn't seem to be in her life at all. The woman seemed to be in the man's life. But what she really meant to say was that she wanted the woman out of the man's life. And that was the end of the dream. So, for someone, when I woke up and I sought the Lord, there is someone listening to this, and it could be more than one of you, because sometimes more than one of you is in this same situation. You know whom your God-ordained partner is, and they know who you are. So the two of you all know that you're in love, even if you're not together at the moment. Even if you're in separation, you know that this person loves you, and this person knows that you love them. And the feelings are mutual. So regardless of what is happening between the two of you right now, whether you're on speaking terms or not, the love is still there. Now, there are people around you and around your person who are well aware of how much the two of you love each other. They've been watching y'all and they've been taking notes and they realize that it's the real thing. They know that this is nobody's pretending here, nobody is faking, that these feelings that the two of you have for each other are real. And let me tell you something about that. People can be real upset, they can get really mad when they realize that somebody has found something that they themselves haven't found yet. So, because they have never been in this place where they genuinely love someone or where someone genuinely loved them, because what they would do is they would go into these relationships pretending to be something that they weren't, pretending to be good people, pretending to have good intentions. So when the person that they were fooling thought they were in love with them, then they realized they weren't when they figured out who they really were. When they got to see their true colors, they realized that no, this isn't it. This isn't love. So they have never really been in love. They've been too busy manipulating people to ever really fall in love with anybody. And nobody has ever really been in love with them. And so this is like rubbing salt in the wound for them to now look at you and realize that you found that. You found something that they are yet to find. And that's one of the things that is really irritating to them. And so this person, and I feel very strongly in my spirit that it is an ex-partner of the person that is your God-ordained partner. This ex of your God-ordained partner has not let go. They have not let go, and it's not because they love your person. It's not because they want what's best for your person. It's because they want what's best for themselves. And they know your person is a good person. They know your person is a God-fearing man or a God-fearing woman. They know they'll never come across anybody like that ever again, not in this lifetime. And they know they fumbled it when they were with your person. So it's eating at them. And what they want back is what they lost. What they want back is the benefit of having your person, not so much your person, if that makes sense. And another thing, they're already jealous of you to begin with because they've been following you, they've been following your life, they've been watching you, they know all that you have going for yourself, and they would have been jealous of you regardless of if this person was in your life or not. So this person being in your life and falling in love with you is like rubbing salt in the wound for them because they, like I said, would have been jealous of you anyway, even if you had nothing to do with this person that they used to be involved with. And so now they have this idea that even if they can't get your person back, they don't want you to have your person either. Because in their mind, it's a competition and they don't want you to win. And not just that, they have recruited people. They've gone far enough to recruit people, other people, to try to keep the two of you apart. But the Lord led me to some scripture, and I'm going to pull that scripture up. The first scripture is from Isaiah chapter 17, verse 12. Woe to the multitude of many people who make a noise like the noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. And then he led me to Exodus chapter 23, verse 27. I will send my terror ahead of you, and I will throw into confusion all the people among whom you come, and I will make all of your enemies turn their backs to you in flight. I read that from the Amplified Bible. Both of those scriptures are going to be in the description box for those of you who would like to check them out. So, basically, God is saying that he is fighting for the two of you. This is a God-ordained connection. This is a God-ordained union. This is not just some union that just came together just like that the two of you lean to your own understanding to form. This is something that God planned up before the two of you were even born. Before the two of you were even born. And while the Lord was speaking to me on this word, he also reminded me of Genesis 2:22, where the woman is presented to the man, the woman fashioned from his rib. Eve is presented to Adam. So he's saying to you, for whom this is for, he put this thing together before the two of you even existed, before you even came into the world. This was his will. This was his will. And so this is what these people who are opposing the two of you don't understand, that they're fighting something that is much bigger than them. And you know what? Folk ought to stop fighting something when they realize that it's God's will. They really ought to stop fighting something the minute they realize. You would think that they would have the good sense to stop fighting it once they realize that it's God's will. And these people do realize that this is God's will. They've been trying to break it up long enough to realize by now that some higher power is fighting for the two of you. And they know it's God, because nothing that they've done thus far has worked, and they've done the most. However, they continue to fight in spite of. Somehow they think the enemy has deceived them enough into thinking that they can actually win against God's will. However, the Lord is saying that He is with you. He has favored the two of you. He has favored this relationship. And so regardless of what they do, no matter what they do, they won't be able to split the two of you up. And they're going to get themselves into some serious trouble trying. They will find themselves in some serious hot water trying to split the two of you up. Can y'all imagine how things would have turned out if Vashti had tried to fight? If Vashti had tried to fight, that would have thrown off and impeded an entire process where a nation of people, God's people, were saved through Esther. Do y'all think God was going to allow that? If Vashti had not gone peacefully, it could have gotten a whole lot uglier for her than just being banished by the king. It could have gotten a whole lot uglier for her if she had decided to fight. If when she saw Esther coming into the picture, she was like, I'm going to sit on this throne and you're not going to get a chance to sit on it. If she had done that, it would have ended a whole lot worse for her. Look what happened to Hagar. Look at what happened to Hagar. You see, people don't understand that just because you arrived at the land first doesn't mean that it's your land. Just because you arrived at the land first does not mean it was promised to you. Isaac was the promise, not Ishmael. Isaac was the promise. The holy bloodline was supposed to come through Isaac. And so I say all of that to say, you cannot force something that is not the will of God. When God ordains for two people to be together, it is because there is an entire bloodline, sometimes an entire nation that is supposed to come out of these two specific people. And that's why it can't work with anybody else. It has to be the two of them, and that's just the way it is. And so people who are fighting God-ordained unions need to understand that they're going up against something that is way bigger than them. And God isn't going to let you, with your own little selfish desires and your own little selfish, self-centered motives, to disrupt an entire nation, to disrupt an entire bloodline. He's not going to allow that. So now this individual, this person, they would have gone to all kinds of means to see if they can hold on to your person or try to get your person back. Some of this included witchcraft, some of it included manipulation. I heard a demon that they went to trying to get power. So this is a demon that supposedly gives power to persons who call upon it in various ways. And so they went to this demon hoping that they could have the power to bring your person back to them. It didn't work. And what's worse is that God said He's going to blind the demon and them, because they've been poking their nose into your business. They've been trying to figure out what is going on in your life. They've been stalking you. They've been stalking your progress with this individual, if there's any progress. They've been trying to get in between, and the Lord said that He is going to blind both them and the demon that they're calling upon. And when he says blind, He didn't specify whether He meant in the natural or in the spirit realm, but you know what? For some, it might be both. For others, it might be one out of the two. But just know that if this is for you, your person is very much in love with you, deeply in love with you. Song of Solomon, in love with you. And to understand that reference, read the Song of Solomon so that you can see how much in love these two people were. That's how much your person is in love with you. I heard the words worthy of being loved. This is how your person sees you. Your person sees you as worthy of being loved, worthy of their love, worthy of their time, worthy of their devotion. And as for this person or persons who are trying to interfere, and by the time I get done with this word, a lot of you would already have pinpointed somebody in your mind who is doing this. God is going to deal with that, so you don't even have to worry about it. So I hope that this message blessed someone. I hope it reached the right ears. I love you guys. I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me. Take care.